All right. Hello. I'm Grandmaster Magesh Panchanathan. This is our discussion on chess in college. And we have Angelica, who's an MIT student, a senior, ready to graduate. And we have Ravi as a parent, Ravi Durbha. His daughter is actually about to start college applications. And, we just wanted to have a conversation about how chess plays a role in college, how college applications happen in general. Thank you, Angelica. Thank you, Ravi, for joining in.
Thank you.
Thanks for
And
having us.
So,
thank you for taking the time and speaking with us, Angelica. This is very, very useful. I'm very interested to learn more about your journey.
Yeah, glad to help.
okay. So let's jump from the. Let's start from the beginning, I guess. Yeah. So let's take you through the. I mean, we would love to hear your chess journey. I know, of course, I've seen you in some of my classes a long, long time ago. So let's talk a little bit about when did you learn chess? How did you get introduced? How? Let's start about take it from the start.
Yeah, so I started playing chess because my dad has like always played, and he used to play with me and my brother a lot, and it was something that we enjoyed. And like probably when I was 9 or 10, we started going taking classes at a local academy, and from there we just both really enjoyed it. So we just kept taking classes and playing games, and yeah, that's basically when it started.
Okay. So if I remember right, you started with Dean Ippolito, right?
Yes.
Yes, I remember in Branchburg. I remember being there. Dean, international master, runs a chess academy, which is very nice. I used to teach there. This was when we started teaching chess, and maybe they
Oh,
were like,
she's the very beginning. She started with the very beginning of the chess academy.
yeah, yeah. And also, so Jonathan is your brother, who's also a chess player. How is he doing? Is he still playing actively? What's he doing right now?
Yeah, he doesn't really, neither of us really played chess anymore. We both kind of stopped at 2020 when all the tournaments shut down. Yeah, it's hard to get back into it when you're in college and there's other things in life. Yeah.
Tough. So you said you're a senior right now. You're ready to graduate. So tell me a little bit about what's your major, and what your MIT journey is like.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm majoring in computer science and economics. I'm going to do like a 1 year master's after I graduate. At MIT, they have like a 1 year program for it. Also, like in CS and econ. So I'll be doing that next year. Yeah.
So you'll have to educate me. What is NCS and decon?
Oh, CS,
Oh,
computer
CS.
science.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I have a master's in
Mhm.
computer science. So I'm familiar with CS. I thought I heard NCS.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I think I can understand that much. So
Yeah.
okay, awesome. So you're ready to graduate and you're all set. I guess. Sorry. I guess we can now maybe take a step back and go to your chess level right now. I believe you're an expert. Is that right?
Yeah. Mhm.
So when did you reach this ranking, and how about that part? Yeah.
I reached it somewhere in the middle of high school. Not sure exactly when. Yeah.
So in the middle of high school, so when you're doing all these college applications and doing all of this is when you actually got the expert ranking. Yeah.
Yeah, probably a little bit before I started like playing and stuff. Yeah.
So for us chess novices, when you say expert, what ranking is this?
Yeah. So 2000 USCF.
Oh, 2000 you said. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have the expert at 2000, then national master 2200, and then the FIDE master 2300, international master 2400, and the grandmaster 2500. That's what it
Nice.
is. Okay, so that's fantastic. So you've done really well, I guess, both in chess and in school. So it's super. We're super excited to find out more details about how you went about doing this. Again, I'm still going to focus a little bit on chess first before we go into college. For chess, I know we don't have a lot of experts. It's an unfortunate situation. We don't have as many girls playing as much as we want to. You probably have seen this and experienced this quite a bit, and you know what it is. So, how was it to make it to that expert level? How challenging was that?
Um, yeah, I guess it is a kind of a double-edged sword because um, obviously you might not get along well with as much socially, but I didn't find too much trouble. Like I've always been like similar level with my brother. We kind of like rose. Um, it was really funny because we kind of like rose at the same, roughly the same level, like maybe like plus or minus 200 points here and there, um, as we were improving. Um, so yeah, pretty similar. I don't think it um, really affected me too much. It is kind of hard because you don't get to know as many girls and get to like as you like get better and better. There's like very few of us that kind of keep playing, so it's kind of seeing the same, similar faces. And you, if you go to like all the national tournaments, you might like be playing the same people. Um, so it is a lot different than if you're playing just like in the open tournaments. If you're a guy, but yeah, I don't think I had too much trouble like improving. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, we hope that changes when you see more and more girls play. How many hours
Mhm.
typically would you spend on chess when you're like, in middle school, high school time? Like, how, like, were you doing other extracurricular activities other than chess, or were you only focused on chess? How was that?
Yeah, I did do some other things in middle school and high school. Like I played tennis or other things like that, but chess was definitely like the main focus in middle school and like maybe like first 2 years of high school. I probably practiced for like a couple hours a day or like every other day. Definitely a lot of time devoted to it. Towards like junior, senior year, maybe not as much, but just enough to like, I think at that point I had already reached expert, so I just maintained that level and um, just focusing on college and other academic stuff at that point.
One more follow up on that. I know you were playing in the all girls nationals pretty much like a lot of those years. What's some of the best results or like something that you can think about in chess other than of course expert is already a
Mhm.
great thing. Anything else that you can remember that you think was the best chess experience?
Yeah, the biggest tournament I went to was World Youth. I went once, I think beginning of sophomore year of high school, and that was in Uruguay, so I went there for like 2 weeks, like at the beginning of the school year, and played. It was a really great experience. I had some like really interesting like roller coaster games, and it was just fun to play with other girls from like they were really really good like feed masters and all that kind of stuff. So that was a really cool experience. Um, there have been like yeah some um, outdoors tournaments and definitely a lot of traveling around the world like around the country. So those are all been like pretty good experiences.
All right, so the non-expert and the
Mhm.
non-master is going to jump in now.
Yes.
You mentioned that girls drop off from playing chess after a while, right? So do you continue planning to play chess?
I probably won't play like too much. The one that I did like in February, it's the Team Enter East. That's something I could see myself like coming back to just because of the social aspect. There's a lot of you see like a
Hmm.
lot of old friends, and it's just a good bonding experience. And it's not like as competitive as a normal tournament.
Interesting. So you're
Yeah,
not very interested in continuing to play chess competitively.
yeah, mhm.
So not
Okay.
not not dropping out of school to go become the world champion. No. So
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's nice. You also mentioned about COVID and how, your brother stopped playing at that time. Maybe you could talk about some experiences you've had because there were no tournaments at all, right? How did you manage to continue playing
Yes.
during that time?
Yeah, at the beginning of COVID, there were some like websites like chess.com, they have online tournaments, so we did some of those. Um, Definitely not the same atmosphere just because that's just tournament you see like all the familiar faces and you get to talk to people versus just sitting like at your computer at home. It definitely doesn't capture the same atmosphere of a chess tournament.
Right. So do you
Yeah.
prefer playing on over the board as opposed to online?
Yeah. So we went to a lot of overboard tournaments that was like before COVID.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
yep, yep.
Do you like A lot of kids these days love blitz and bullet and rapid. So do you like the faster game controls or do you like the classical slow game controls?
I like to play that occasionally. Personally, I'm like more of a
Any
slower
controls?
player, so I would prefer like longer classical
Oh, you
games. Like Magesh has
prefer
definitely seen me like
Exactly. I
sat
was gonna
there
say
like
that I can back this
yeah.
up. I remember Angelica playing, being really thorough, right? She's like, she wants it right. She's not the one who's gonna jump instantly with the first idea that comes to her head. She wants to check and
that.
make sure, and then play the long time control games in general over the board. Yeah, that's. I'm sure that helped a lot in other places. Being thorough, right?
Yeah, I was definitely a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to that taking a long time to make decisions, but yeah.
Nice. So one of our goals with this conversation is to try to get students. So we get hit a lot with questions like, "Hey, how is chess helping? In college application, what should I do if I'm in like let's say in ninth grade and I'm playing chess seriously? What should I think about? How should I plan this?" So these are all a lot of questions we get, and I know college applications. I'm learning a lot. I mean, I've had discussions with Ravi, and his daughter Antra is going through that process, and I have a few other students who are doing that. So I'm learning a lot. So we are hoping to get a lot of that information. So the first question is, when did you seriously even start thinking about college? And what did you start at that point to say, hey, this is what I'm doing? Not even, I don't know when you started thinking about MIT, but maybe you can tell us about both. Yeah.
Yeah, so thinking about college in general is honestly like a freshman year of high school issue. Like they count everything like starting from the beginning of high school. So when I came to high school, there wasn't any chess club at all. So I kind of like got one started after a few months, and yeah, I think that definitely helped like with college applications, just to show that I started like a chess club. And after a few years, it definitely became like more people joined, and um, we even like went to like New Jersey high school team champions and stuff like that, and it was a good experience. Um, and yeah, just like when you're first starting, just to like join different clubs and get like some leadership position to show that you can like put yourself out there and be like responsible for something like that. Um, and then I didn't think about MIT in specific probably until like junior year. Um, yeah, I think with the specific college, you can like you don't have to necessarily like tailor your whole high school experience towards one college, but like but if you have like what you're experiencing already, then like if you just I guess do what you enjoy doing, then eventually one college might like stick out. So for me, I liked MIT because I had planned to do like computer science at that point, and it was a really good school for that. And um, I really enjoyed like all the other like extracurriculars, and MIT seemed to be like a good fit at that time. And yeah, I can't speak to any other colleges, but MIT also seems to really enjoy like admitting like people with that, like chess people. There's a lot of girls that I've
Oh,
known through the chess world that are here at MIT, and
That's great to
even
know.
like yeah, there's a lot of like even in the chess club, there's a lot of like casual players also. So yeah,
so
it's
Angelic, actually, sorry, I didn't catch. Are you actually a freshman at MIT right now, or are you a sophomore?
I'm a senior.
She's
Oh, you're a
graduating.
senior at MIT. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay, I did not realize. Okay.
Mhm.
So one more follow up on that. So did you really make up your mind saying that MIT is where I'm going, or did you, when you're applying, you're still pretty flexible and say I'm going to keep all my options open?
Yes. Like at the end of junior year, I decided that MIT was like kind of my first choice.
So okay,
And then I had like a few other like STEM colleges picked out, but I got into MIT in December, so after that I was pretty happy with it.
pretty set.
Mhm.
So talk to us a little more about your high school workload, right? So, many students, as they're trying to play chess competitively and managing their high school workload, how did you manage that? How did you balance your high school work with playing chess?
Yeah, it's definitely pretty difficult.
Hmm.
I was one of those people that took like basically every AP. Like I took all the STEM ones and
Oh, really?
um
How many APs did you end
yeah,
up
like
taking?
scientific. Huh?
How many APs did you end up taking in the end?
I think like 15 total.
15 APs? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was a lot.
A lot of APs.
So now
Definitely
as a as an amateur, not knowing this, what is the scale? 15 APs is a lot. I can hear that expression. But what is this comparison? So you're getting 15 college courses before you're joining. Is that what that's what it means? Yeah.
yeah, it depends on the college you go to. If you go to like a state college or something, they'll probably take most of the credit if you get like a 4 or 5 on the exam. MIT didn't really, they took like they took like the calculus credit, and that was pretty much it.
So I
Yeah.
think what happens though is, I think there are a couple of ways to answer your question, right, Magesh? So one is this, whether you actually get the credit at the end of the day in your college you choose to
Mm.
go. But the other is the actual rigor of the coursework itself, right? So the rigor of the coursework itself is at the college level when you take an AP course, regardless of whether ultimately that will count towards the credit in your college or not, right?
Wow.
So you still have to put that work in at the time when you're taking the AP class, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
That's tough. So you did 15 courses. MIT only decided to take calculus. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's that's challenging. That's a lot of
Yeah.
effort.
yeah.
So so which high school did you go to, Angelica? I know it's in New Jersey. Which,
Yeah, I went to North Hardin. It's just like a public high school. Yeah.
so how competitive was the school? Like I know different areas, different school districts. Of course, things vary quite a bit. So how challenging was it? These days, I'm hearing and reading a lot about there's so much pressure. Literally, just going through this admission process and being in one of these environments. So how was your school?
There was a little bit of pressure. My school's not like one of those like um feeder schools or anything. I think I was the first person to go to MIT in like 10 years, but in general, people from like every year, it's like at least a few people get into like Cornell or a couple
Mm.
other Ivy Leagues. Not like a lot of people, just there's always some people who get in.
Very,
So it
very
wasn't
good.
super competitive, but I mean, I think most high schools are at least a little bit competitive these days. So
First person to get into MIT from your school in 10 years.
yeah,
That's amazing. So I'm
That's
sure
amazing.
you're like a star walking into school like once you got the admission. Yeah, how was that? Was it having fun, enjoying all that attention?
yeah, a little bit.
Nice.
That's impressive though. That's impressive. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess chess is one dimension, AP exams is one dimension. Of course, you have your SAT, you have your GPA. Do you mind sharing some of that information? How much, like, from a GPA perspective or from a SAT score perspective, what were your scores like, and what sort of how do you see what role that played in your admissions?
Um, yeah, so basically on the SAT, I got like 1590 out of 1600. I think I got
Okay.
one thing wrong on the reading, and then
Yeah.
I was also the valedictorian in my
Okay.
year. So
That's
I
very
like,
impressive. Yeah.
yeah.
That's
So the other
amazing.
thing about AP classes is that they do like weighted averages, right? So in my school, if you took an AP class, it was like zero point 0.5 weighted more.
Yeah.
So um, it
So it's
definitely
only
helps to take
5
if you
weighted
take a lot
more.
of APs to. Hmm?
It's only 0.5 weighted more if you take an AP class. So instead of 4 point, you get a 4.5 GPA.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
Is that a disadvantage, Ravi? Is that
No, no, no. I was only surprised because here in North Carolina, at least, it's a 1 point advantage if you take AP course. We get a 5.0 GPA versus 4.5 for an honors and 4.0 for a regular academic class. So that's the way at least it works in North Carolina.
Interesting.
so? This
Yeah. The
is
other thing,
sorry.
yeah,
Go
I
on.
guess the
Yeah.
other thing about college admission is that they kind of take your all your statistics and like geographically, so like how you are doing compared to other people who apply from your high school. So like they might compare your GPA to people from who also applied from your high school, people who have applied from your high school in the past, and we'll compare it like that and how people who got it in the past did at their school.
That makes a
So
lot
it's
more
like all
sense.
relative.
Because I was going to ask something which you kind of answered. Because I was going to say that it sounds like if someone from North Carolina is getting a 5.0 GPA compared to someone who can only get a 4.5 in New Jersey, it might be an unfair standard there. But so you're saying the colleges are very clear in following the local, the kind of
Yeah.
performance from the past. Okay,
And
that
even like with AP classes, if your high school only offers like three and you took two of them, then they will think that's like really good compared to someone who like a school who offers all the APs and you took like two of them. It would definitely measure differently.
so I heard that when someone's going through the admission process, each candidate gets only about 5 to 7 minutes of attention when someone's looking at it, right? So at this time, will they have all this information, like to make that decision, like how many high school like courses were offered in the school, what is all of this is right there in their fingertips, is it?
Yeah, I assume so. There's yeah, colleges these days, I'm sure they get tons of admissions. But statistics like this, I think they can take more holistically. They're not gonna like nitpick every AP you took and
Yeah,
Makes
that's very impressive though. I mean, you were able to play chess in high school and, to be a valedictorian is not an easy task. So that's very impressive.
yeah.
And just to put things in perspective, I don't know the ranking. I don't know if you're. I'm pretty sure your ranking in chess is, among women in US is to be pretty reasonably high. Yeah, and when you were in high school, was it like top 30, top 20, or top 50 or something like that?
Yeah, I think because they did it based on like what your age was. So I think at whatever age I was, it was probably like top 15-ish.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
That's top 15 in the whole country. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Plus a valedictorian, like Ravi is saying, that's amazing. That has to be sleepless. I'm guessing a lot of sleepless nights.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
like I said, I think a lot of people think it's a disadvantage to be like a girl in STEM fields or like in chess, things like that. But it can be an advantage because it makes you stand out.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. Yeah,
so
absolutely.
bigger challenge, but you can stand out more. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good to hear. One follow up question is like, so when you started, framing chess for your application, right? So you mentioned chess is your main extracurricular activity. Is that right?
Yeah.
So how did you frame it? So one of the biggest questions for a chess player, for a chess coach, or a chess parent is: would it make a difference between a 2000 or a 1900 or a 2100? Would an expert make a difference from a class A player, or like what is it that really makes the difference for you to stand out there?
Yeah, I don't think these like 100-point differences really matter too much. It's more of the how you can frame your experiences and what you've learned
Mhm.
from all the time that you spent putting your energy into this
Right.
kind of project. So yeah, I definitely wrote about chess a lot in my personal essays, and I've gone to a lot of tournaments and met a lot of people. So I had a lot of experiences other people might not have had, and was able to talk about that a lot. And um, yeah, I don't think that like obviously the people who are admissions officers are not like chess experts either. They're not gonna like know the fine details of like different tournaments you've placed well in or like your rating, but they really would like to see what you've learned from what you've done.
That's interesting. So it's all about incorporating your experiences as you're playing chess into your story and what you've actually gained from it.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah. And you get to express this mainly in your essays, correct?
yeah, definitely. Because otherwise, it's just like
Yeah.
statistics.
Right, right, exactly. And obviously the admissions officials are probably not well versed with how the chess world works, right? So they don't probably even know how much effort it takes to become an expert in chess, for example.
Yeah. That's why it's nice to have like the title like expert or class A. It
Yeah.
helps other people understand like how much
And
work
it's
is involved to reaching that status, and also
okay.
if you do well in any tournaments.
So
Yeah.
you think having a title does help in that sense, that at least it gives some indication to the outside world that okay, there's some effort involved here.
Yeah. It's like every field has their own tournaments and titles to show how
Mm.
how good you are. Yeah.
But I would think that, if I'm a non-chess player and you say there's an expert, then there's a master. I mean, you're going to be like, I don't know who's better.
I don't know
Yeah.
if I was a outsider, I might think an expert is
Expert
better
is
than a
stronger,
master.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So just having the title, like I don't think they really care what the difference between expert and master. Just having that is really pretty good.
Something like that helps. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that expert master will stand out from class A or class B, right? Because class A, class B doesn't sound as much to an outsider, maybe to than an
Yeah.
expert.
Probably.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So that's nice. So okay, so chess. The story was mainly an important thing. So what is this story like? I don't know how much you remember about your college essay now, but was it more about how challenging your work was, how you had to deal with these tournaments, or how you had to prepare? Like how, I don't know if you don't mind sharing the actual story that went with your chess application.
Yeah. I don't remember most of them. There's one essay, like the big, long essay that you write for the Common App. I remember writing about one of the New Jersey girls tournaments I was in. It was just more of like following the competitive, how I felt like competing in that moment. Just like, um, I just wrote about like how it felt to like all of the pressure coming into this moment and how I was like competing and um, like all the emotions being on the board. So that was kind of like my story of, I guess, why I play chess. And yeah.
Which is of course awesome. I know at some point
Yeah.
you and Jonathan were both doing the Future GM program, right? Like I don't know if you remember doing that, or I don't know if I'm on the right track. Do you remember ever doing that? Maybe
There
not.
were there were a few programs. I'm not sure
Yeah.
which one you're.
So we were doing this once a month program where you have this, like, we do like a whole day or a couple of days and then give you a lot of work for the whole month. I don't know if you ever did that. No.
I
It
don't
doesn't.
remember.
I was gonna say, like, did that ever make into the college application? Like, I was part of the Future GM program. It's like,
Oh yeah, I'm not sure.
no, I'm just joking. Of course it did. But if it did, then it's the biggest advertisement for us.
Yeah.
It's like MIT recognizes Future GM. Yeah, but awesome. So that's the story. So the next question is, once you got into MIT, right? Or actually, even maybe we'll talk about MIT first, and then we can talk about in general. Do you think chess helps you think differently, or it has made you a certain way? How you're handling your, I'm sure it's pretty challenging, to go through the rigor of the courses there. Yeah.
Yeah. I think chess in general, like playing that growing up, it helped me learn how to make better decisions and be more thought through. Like everything you do like has a consequence. You kind of have to weigh the pros and cons of everything. Um, I think it's also helped as I'm studying computer science because they're both like very logical things and helps to there's a lot of similarities in those. So
Interesting. So I'm a computer science major as well. So I'm sort of, and I know very little about chess, right? But what do you think helped you playing chess in computer science?
I think I just learned how more to think logically.
Mhm.
I didn't really learn how to code until like sophomore or junior year of high school. And
Right.
at that point, I was like, if I didn't play chess, then maybe I wouldn't know how to think logically, or I wouldn't have really thought about or like been that as interested in something like that.
You're
Okay.
being modest, Ravi. I think you can hold yourself against what, like 15. I think against a 1500, you can hold your own.
Well, I'm talking to an expert and a master. I cannot say I know anything about chess yet.
But I did realize all three of us are computer science majors. So
There you go. There you go.
Yeah,
well,
there's a correlation.
I have a question on the computer science part of it. I know chess now has plenty of growth coming in. With the what is that, Leela chess? Which is all these AI engines. Wait, what's the most famous one? I'm blanking.
Alpha Zero?
Alpha Zero. Thank you. The famous chess engine. So do you see like any way you would be interested in doing something around chess with your CS degree?
Um, I could see it like in the future. I know there is this like postdoc, like grandmaster. I think he's a postdoc, like GM Neji. I'm sure you've heard of
Oh,
him.
Parimarjan Negi. Yeah.
Yeah, or yeah, Neji.
He's a
So
postdoc in science?
I think he's like a PhD or postdoc. He's definitely at MIT. The chess club, I got an email from him once. Like he was doing uh, some computer science project related to chess. Um,
Interesting.
so yeah, I think it does exist. I'm personally not too interested in like the research route of computer science, but there are like other aspects of that I might get involved in the future.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
So is
into
there a chess club in MIT that you go play in? How's chess in MIT?
yeah, a lot of people play chess at MIT. The club is reasonably big. I've gone like once or twice, but um, there's also when I went to the Entry East. That's who I went with. We sent like there were three teams, and one of the teams was all girls, which was
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
nice.
three
pretty
teams.
cool. Yeah,
That's nice. Amateur East, of course, is our yearly tournament. Like you
mm,
pointed out earlier, it's a fun social event. Yeah, I've been playing
yeah,
there. I don't know how many years. I don't miss that tournament. I'm there every year.
yeah. It's definitely a unique tournament. I've never seen anything like it. So
So, but by the way, you mentioned Negi. He's a good friend of mine. I have seen him grow as a very young chess player. I think probably like a half a generation above him. But the interesting part is he was. I mean, at that time, if I remember right, he became either the second youngest grandmaster in the world or something like that. And he had
yeah,
this amazing record, and he was 2600 plus, and then he quit chess. He went to Stanford. He went to, I believe, he went to Harvard to do his PhD or like masters, and then but he's doing his postdoc here. So he switched to academia, but he was completely one of the top players who just like all of a sudden moved out. I'm very happy to hear that there might be something going on, where there's chess and computer science stuff. Minds like this should be working on it, which is great. Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Nice. So I think we addressed a lot of questions. So what's the next step for you? So you said you're graduating in 2 weeks. So that's a
Yeah, I'll be
big
graduating.
congratulations. And
Oh,
so what's next?
congratulations. Yeah.
Yeah, so MIT has this master's program. So basically, since more than half of like the undergrads are course six, which is computer science, they have this special master's program, which is just like an extra year, and then
Mhm.
you write like a research thesis. So I'll be doing that for a year,
So
and then
there's a
probably going
usual
into
program
industry.
that's 2 years, but you can accelerate and do it in 1 year. Is that right?
Um, I'm not really sure what they're like, if they have like a separate master's program, but this is yeah, it's like a 4+1
For
program
okay.
basically.
Yeah, usually, I think they have a 2-year master's program, but it looks like in this
Yeah,
case, you can do a research thesis and substitute that 1 year of coursework and sort of finish it up in 1 year essentially.
yeah,
Fantastic. I think we covered a lot. So maybe what advice would you give for Antara, who is 1800? she is getting ready for college applications. What should she be doing?
Yeah. Definitely don't stress too much about it. Just think about yeah, it can be a very stressful time, but just think about all of the experiences that you've gained in
Yeah.
chess and this definitely like be able to tell your story. They will be ready to listen about like all that you've learned and how you've grown as a player. Or has that made you grown as a person? Um, Also, colleges really like that you'll be like an active member of their community once you join them. So um, to show like initiative like that is will be good to show, and yeah, I'm sure everything will turn out great.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you for that
Mhm.
advice. I'm sure there are many other, girls or boys playing chess who are also looking for some advice into how to apply for their colleges and how to pursue their post high school career.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Angelica. I'm going to stop the recording right now, and then we can